Yo, yo, let's get busy. About to have my brother, my mentor, my peer, who's been doing this a little longer than me. My boy Wealthy Cam is about to join me on the live. About to ask and answer some of your questions. Hey, what's up, Alyssa? Glad you joined. Yeah, just here to talk about some credit game and get some things rolling. You know, a lot of people are just not educated about credit. A lot of people are curious on how it works, how to get involved. You need it for an apartment, a house, a car, infinite things that you need credit for. My boy Wealthy Cam.
Let's go. Let's go. Hold on, let me clean my screen.
Jeez.
Screen looking a little blurry there.
About to get
Sheesh. What's going on,
I'm doing
brother?
great, bro. How about yourself?
Yo, super good. Super good, bro. Super productive day. Yeah, bro, I'm doing good. Ready to drop some game. I see my guy Will on here. Yo, what's going on, Will? Ready to get it.
Yo, my mom
What's
just
going
joined the
on?
live. Let's go. Hey, mom.
I'm real. What's up? She ready for the
Yes,
credit game?
sir. Yes, sir. That's
Let's
my
do it.
wealthy cousin from New York to LA. We coast to coast.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, that's my thing. Right? Like, you know, my wealthy cousins. I actually got that from my mentorship, right? Because my mentorship. Let me close this thing. That dog's barking crazy. My mentorship is wealthy off credit, right? And not just wealthy as far as you know the credit thing, but it's wealthy in general, right? Health is wealth. You know, spirituality. Your like your physical, right? Staying in the gym and stuff like that. So everything wealthy. You know what I'm saying? And my name is Wealthy Cam on IG, right? So everything kind of go perfect. And also too, it's like, you know, a lot of us kind of grow up, especially when you move on to the entrepreneurship stuff. Like, you know, we don't really have a lot of friends who are on the same journey. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of tough in the beginning of entrepreneurship because it's like you're, you know, focused on business and, you know, working for yourself, and your friends, you know, may be complacent at a job, not necessarily complacent, but they, you know, may be on a different path, right? So I was able to join mentorships and stuff and connect with other people who, you know, were very like-minded, right? So, you know, those are my wealthy cousins. Yo, what's going on, Deborah? Let's do
Most
it.
definitely. Yeah, staying around people that are like-minded and, you know, push you to be better on the same vision. Because, like, if you think about it, if you're standing on a chair and someone's trying to pull you down and you're trying to pull them up, you know, it's way easier for them to pull you down than you to pull them up. So it just proximity is a lot, bro, for
Nah,
sure.
for
And
sure.
that's one of the reasons why I wanted to move out here to Cali, so I could be around more wealthy people. Because it's not there's some wealthy people in Indiana, but nothing compared to out here. So, um, yeah, for sure. I saw on your story that you were
Now,
on the phone with a manager today from, what was it, M&T Bank?
yeah, M&T Bank. So they're a regional bank. They're a super dope bank. A lot of people really don't know about them. I actually looked up, you know, their locations. They're like all over the East Coast up until like Virginia area, right? And I believe they have like some locations in Florida as well. But yeah, bro, just building relationships. You know, especially now, you know, with you know the recession coming and a lot of like financial uncertainty and all these banks going down, right? You see Silicon Valley. I think there was a
Yeah,
third bank that just got, you know, shut down or have to get bailed out, right? So banks are really banking on your relationship with them. So it's not enough, you know, just to have good credit. Yeah, it's cool. You know, having yeah, like I said, good credit. Like establish those relationships, right? You know, speak to somebody in the branch, right? Don't just open up a bank account online. Go in and speak to somebody. You know, deposit money with them. You know, speak to them about their products and stuff like that. And as you build that relationship, you know, sometimes you don't even have to apply online, right? My guy told me, as you seen in one of my text in my text message, he's like, yo, if you have any clients, have
mm,
them call me and then, you know, set up a meeting. So that's a different relationship than anybody else who would just hop online and apply for a credit card and just
yeah,
hoping that they get approved.
exactly.
You know what I'm
I
saying? So
just I just opened up my account with Navy Federal and go inside. They have
let's
a
go.
branch in Long Beach where I live. So I'm about to go in there. I'm about to schedule an appointment and, you know, see if I can talk with the relationship manager. ask some questions, show face, have them help me set up my debit card, everything, ask questions about their services. Like I'm really excited to gain some knowledge because I know that's the house of high limits. I know that's where it's at.
For sure. Nah, I love Navy Federal. I've been with Navy since 2020. So I have like about 60K with Navy. So I have a $30,000 credit card with them. And then I also have a $30,000 auto
Okay.
loan with them
Word,
as well.
word. And I
So
know I've heard you say something about a pledge loan with them. That's a secured loan, right? Because that's definitely what I was going to ask him about whenever I go
yeah,
in. So I know you mentioned before like secured loans look way better on the credit report than secured credit cards, and I was wondering if you could kind of clarify the difference between the two. That's definitely a question that I had. Like it kind of makes sense, but if you could dive a little bit deeper on that.
nah, for sure. Right. So, just think about it. When most people open up secured credit cards, they usually put down 300, right? 400. You usually don't get people putting down high limits
Yeah.
on secured credit cards. You get what I'm saying? So so first off, when you get a secured credit card, before getting one, you always want to make sure that that credit card is going to graduate to unsecured, right? So you always want, right, from 6 to 9 months of on-time payments. Oh, we got my guy Sebas on here. That's my partner. He been going crazy with the funding too. Right, be going ham this year. So shout out to my guy Sebas. But what was I saying? So yeah, so secured credit cards, you want to make sure they graduate, right? So after 6 to 9 months of on-time payments, it graduates to a regular credit card, right? But just think about that. If you only put a $300 limit down on a secured card and it graduates, now you're stuck with a $300 limit. So then when you start to go get higher or
Hmm.
want higher limit credit cards, usually they stay in that safe range of the limits you already have. So you can't expect to get a $5, $10, $15,000 credit card if you only have a couple of secured cards, that graduated at only
Or
400 or 500. You feel me? So when it comes to secured loans, loans hold more weight than secured credit cards and usually credit cards in general. So you
yeah,
generally want like a mix of both. But with secured loans, right? What a lot of people don't know is with Navy Federal, as you pay down the loan, they give you back your money, right? So you can open up, say, a $500 loan, a secured loan with Navy Federal. For
yeah,
them specifically, it's called a pledge loan, right? So you open, like, say you drop $500, right? Now, if you pay down 90% of the balance within 48 hours, say you pay $450, right? So they'll give you that $450 back. Now you have $50 locked up that's left to pay on the loan, but say that loan is for 60 months, right? So now as that ages, you have a $500 loan on your report that you don't have to pay for another, a few months, and it's gonna age, right? You get what I'm saying? So now you have an account with Navy Federal, right? So you built that relationship, and you only use more positive accounts, really using too much
yeah,
cash out
for
of pocket.
sure.
You know,
Yeah,
we already started the game. We already started
most def.
the
That's
game.
how
You
my
know the vibes.
boy Caleb hopped on here. What's up, Caleb? Good to see you, man.
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, and then
So yeah,
I was talking with you earlier. We were talking a little bit before the live on like different tiers of credit cards, and got like tier one,
yeah,
tier two, tier three, tier four, and of course, tier one, that's the elites. That's your Bank of America, your Chase, your Wells Fargo, the big players, the big ballers, and then I actually have a tier two. I got a Capital One Venture card. I know you said you're tier two, like regional banks. uh, I didn't even realize that
mm-hmm.
Capital One was regional. Like,
Yeah. So Capital, it's still one of your bigger banks, right? But it's still considered a regional bank, right? I mean, they are more known than most of the other tier twos, and then you have like TD, Truist is a tier two, right? But just to break it down for some people who don't know, so right, you have the four
yeah,
tiers. One is the highest, four is the lowest, right? Four is the lowest. So as you know, the big four are in the tier one. You got Chase, Bank of America, Citi, and Wells Fargo, right? Those are the big four. Then tier two, regional banks like I just mentioned, Cap One, TD, Truist. Then usually three is all credit unions, and then you have like some community banks, and then tier four, which is the lowest, is like store cards, and like First
Yeah.
Premier, Michelin Bank, and stuff like that, right? So I spoke about it earlier. Why I don't really recommend store cards is because one, you're limited to where you can spend that money, right? I much rather get a Chase Freedom card where I can still get the points and cash back and use it wherever I want than getting a Macy's card or a Best Buy card where I'm only limited to
Yeah.
that specific spot, right? So that's one. Two, usually store cards don't give you high limits, right? You get approved for a store card, $400, $500 at most, and then as you keep spending, yeah, they can increase the limits, but you're still limited to how much they
Yeah.
can give you, right? So that's two, and then three, there's no relationship that you're building, right? It's not a bank. So some of these cards are backed by banks, but that's still not a solid relationship. You might as well get a Chase Freedom, right? Like I said, where now you're building that relationship with Chase, and then when you go get the Sapphire Preferred, you go get the Ink card and stuff like that, they can already see your spending habits, right? So why not, start with one of those cards, get a higher limit. Even if you only get 1,000 or 1,500, that's still way better than a $400 Macy's card. And then on top of that, now you're just building that relationship because you have more products with them.
Yeah. That
you know what I'm saying? So,
but I guess my curiosity was more from like an underwriting perspective. Like whenever you're applying for a loan or a credit card, like does it look bad? Do you have a Kohl's card? Is it like, oh, he can't afford to shop at Kohl's, so he got to put it on a credit card? Or
not not necessarily. I mean, that's just stuff that they take into consideration. But just think about it. If you have like 3 credit cards and they're all store cards, banks are probably going to give you, baby limits. But say you may have a store card, but like 4 cards from banks, okay, now you're in a much better position to build that relationship with whoever you're trying to apply for, So, yeah, and then, like I said, right, it's all about relationships. So the more, products you have, because banks at the end of the day have products. A checking account is a product, a savings account is a product, a credit card, a loan, they're all products. So the more products you have, the stronger that relationship.
Most definitely. Yeah, I made a reel like, I don't know, a week or two ago, was talking about how credit is trust. It's how many people have you borrowed money from before? How quickly did you pay it back? Did you pay them back at all? Did you pay back when you said you were going to? Just building the trust, like the trust. Like I try and tell a lot of my clients, think of your credit report as like your resume, and you're applying for different jobs. Like if you've only had one job before, why would one of these tier 1 banks like accept you?
Exactly. And then even, to speak on, that point, some people think that just because they have a 750 that, they have a good, strong credit report, but they may only have an authorized user, right? So that's like you applying for a job with somebody else's degree, right? Like they're like, yo, this ain't even you. This is not even you, right? I can't see, these spending habits. I'll give you another great example, right? So my girl, her dad put her sister as an authorized user. Now she has an 800, right? She has an 800 credit score. So you may think it's good, but it's from her dad, right? Her dad has 30 years of history. I think the card is like a $19,000, limit. So her dad looks good, but they're gonna be only got one card. Yeah, okay, I see, but this is your dad's spending habits. These are not your spending habits. You could have completely different spending habits. You know what I'm saying? So, it's very misleading when some people say, listen, I got a great credit score, 2 accounts, but they're all authorized users, right? So that's, definitely something to take into consideration.
Exactly.
But it's weekend.
And he know the game. He know the sauce.
Exactly. I got Danny Dixon.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like people, and I've heard Danny say this, like people need to put their pride to the side. Like they think, oh, I got a 750. Oh, I'm cool. Well, just like you said, an authorized user, like literally one of my best friends had an authorized user from his grandma, and then he tried to apply for an Apple card, which is a relatively easy approval, and they didn't approve him. And he was confused why. He was like, I got a 750. And, I just, whenever someone tells me that, I like to ask them, like, okay, well, how many accounts do you have on your credit report? And how high are your credit limits? Because if you got a 750, but you only got a $500 credit limit, like, what are we even talking about here? We need to get that up so you can leverage more and also just get points. Like, even for people who aren't interested in like getting $50,000-$100,000 in funding and leveraging that, like, you should at least be getting points and cash back on everything that you're spending. If $500 isn't going to cover your monthly expenses, I would assume, for most people,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, for sure. So building relationships is huge with the banks and, on your credit report. That's why I'm so excited about my, starting to build a relationship with Navy Federal, because I know that with the credit unions, they have fewer clients. And so their relationships are more important to them. So they give higher limits and they give lower interest rates. And it's really a key.
No, for sure, for sure. And you generally want to have like a couple credit unions, right? Obviously Navy Federal is one of the bigger ones, and everybody talks about them. But there's hundreds of credit unions out there, right? You have DCU, you have First Tech, National Federal, right? There's a bunch out there, right? And I'm about to drop some game too. So there's something called the American Consumer Council, right? You can sign up for a membership with them. It's like I think lifetime is like $15, and what it allows you to do is it gives you access to a list of credit unions, right? If you want a list, whoever is on this live, I'll send you a list too. Just DM me American ACC list. What it allows you to do, because most credit unions require you to have some type of membership with them, right? Whether it's, Navy Federal, you have to be in the military, you know what I'm saying? Some may, require you to put like $15 towards a specific charity, but you pay $15 for the ACC, and now you have access to a list of credit unions. Andrews Federal, Penn Federal, is a whole list of them, right? So that's a way that you can kind of bypass the membership part of it and, just join like 2-3 credit unions. Hmm? And then on top, right now, people talk about getting high limit on the business side, but you need to have high limits on the personal side. So say you hit 2-3 credit unions, and at a minimum they give you, 10,000, because they're notorious for giving you high limits, right? That's 30,000 right there just from credit unions. Now you go hit these bigger banks, and they like Chase, BOA, Citi, and they see you have these 10K limits. Oh shit, okay, now let's match these limits, right? And then say Chase gives you 5,000. I will call reconsideration, right? Because 5,000, what's 5,000? My highest limit is 10. So I'll call reconsideration. Reconsideration is easy. You can just Google Chase reconsideration line, right? You call reconsideration. Yeah. So anytime you get, so whether you get approved or denied, I'm always calling reconsideration, right? So if you get denied, I'm calling recon like, hey, listen, I have a 750. I have a pretty strong credit report. I have a couple credit cards with, other banks. I really want to build that relationship. Would you be able to take a look at my application and see if you can approve me, for something? And sometimes they'll turn around and approve you, not for a high limit, but they may approve you for a $2,000 card. Okay, I could kind of rock out with a $2,000 card, right? So then going back to the example that I was talking about before, if I got a $5,000 limit with Chase, but my highest limits are 10K with the credit union, I'm gonna call Chase ASAP. Like, hey, Chase, I'm cool with this $5,000 limit, but would you be able to match the other limits that I have on my credit cards? Because I have 10K with Navy, I have 10K with DCU, and I'm really trying to build that relationship with Chase. So would you be able to look into that? Even if they don't give you the 10, maybe they give you 7, maybe they give you 8, right? So you just got an extra 2-3K with just one phone call. And then even deeper than that, you may have somebody that's having a shitty ass day, right? I don't know, maybe you're on the phone with Susie. She just got divorced last week, right? She's not helping out nobody. I'll do something called HUCA, HUCA. Hang up, call again. I might get Bill on the phone. Bill just came back from his honeymoon. He's lit, right? Bill's willing to help me out. Bill's able to give you that limit increase, right? So there's a lot of little stuff, right? That I've learned, through experience with me and my clients, that kind of helps you maximize those limits.
And yeah, but y'all make sure you're dropping questions in the chat. Any credit questions, any funding questions, anything y'all know. We got two wealths of knowledge right here, ready to go for whatever you need. This is like a exclusive free mentorship right here. I watched
Nah,
Cam's
for
lives that he
sure.
did a couple of days ago and got some mad game from there. Like, they were asking great questions,
I
bro.
I spazzed on that live. He said, "Put me on that game." So what exactly you want to know about Navy Fed? Like as far as like high limits, I mean, got to get set up for sure. Yeah, I mean Navy Federal. A lot of people do the grandfather method, but the problem with these methods, right, is that they're kind of played out, right? I mean, yeah, they still do work, but if you think about it, once a method, and this is just personal opinion, once a method hits YouTube, it's pretty much dead. Not dead, but it's almost kind of played out, right? Because YouTube, you got everybody watching it. Now, people think that Navy Federal employees are not on YouTube, right? They're on YouTube, so some of them knows these things that they're gonna say, "Hey, listen, my grandfather passed away, this, that, and the third." Also, what I've done is, give people that I trust, right? So my mentorship, they get my code, right? So if you're in mentorship, you get my code, and then you just let them know, "Hey, listen, that's my roommate." You put my address, boom, you're in the door, and then once you have the account, once you have that account established, you just change it back to your address and you're set.
For sure. Yeah, so Danny, you can hit me or Cam up for the code, and we can get you there. Personally, my grandfather actually was in the military, and he actually did pass away. And so I was thinking I had to have
Okay,
his call it
like
the discharge paper.
bro, sometimes
So like I got him ready to go,
after
and I told him like, hey, I got it, and then they didn't even ask for it, and they just signed me up anyway. So yeah, I mean you can try the grandfather. For me, it's true, and so that's what I went with
yeah,
because that's real.
bro,
That's real. But yeah, you can also get a code, and it's just you want to make sure that it's with someone that you trust though, because if they refer you and then they do something and they mess up their Navy Federal relationship, well, they could also close your account as well because you're referred by them. So, like, don't just get it from anybody. Make sure it's someone that you trust, that you know is strong with financial literacy, that's really focused on building a relationship. So, uh, you're not negatively affected.
1,000%, 1,000%. Then he said, "Good looks. We got you, bro." I use my homie's code that's in the Navy
Yes.
now. Look at that, right? Living testimony right there. Living testimony. But yo, listen, if you got any questions, I don't care what it is. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. Definitely drop me in the chat. Definitely drop me in the chat. But yeah, but we was talking. He said, "Facts, trust is everything." Yeah, so we were talking too about like my 3 steps as far as like the personal credit stuff. So the RBL is like repair, build, leverage.
Yeah.
So that's the foundation of everything, right? So first you want to repair your credit, right? So well, even before that, you want to pull your credit, to see what's on it, right? Because some
Mm.
people don't even know how to check the credit report. I got a bunch. Hey, listen, I got Credit Karma. Like, can you check this? Listen, Equifax and TransUnion aren't the only credit bureaus that are out there. You have Experian, right? So what I recommend people to do is go to Experian because that shows your FICO score. For people who don't know, you have 2 scoring models, FICO and Vantage. 90% of banks are going to base your approvals off your FICO score. So that's why you see memes like, oh, Credit Karma said I had a 750, but I go to the dealership and they're telling me I have a 650, right? You get what I'm saying? So I would recommend to go to Experian, pay for the dollar trial, right? Or pay the $20 or whatever it is, see your FICO scores across all three. And now okay, these are my credit scores, right? So if you see anything, Shayla, I got you 1 second, right? So if you see anything on your report, right, that's negative, right, hit my guy Rhino up. And yeah, bro, what's your real name?
my,
'Cause I
my
ain't
name's
calling you Rhino
Ryan.
Reels.
Ryan, my friend,
Ryan,
just
okay,
call me
okay.
Rhino. So it's a brand now.
Got you, right? So if you check your report, right, you see, oh, damn, I got some late payments, I got some collections. Make sure you DM Ryan, right? Like, hey, listen, can you take care of my credit report? He's going to get you right, right? So that's the repair phase, right? So once you repair your credit, at the same time, you want to build your credit because as you're removing negatives, you want to balance it out with positive accounts, right? So you got credit strong, self, secured loans, stuff like
Mm.
that because secured loans is no credit check, right? So that's positive accounts. So once you get through the repair phase, now you build your credit. Okay, now it's time to leverage it, right? So now you got a strong credit report. Start opening up bank accounts. Start applying for the lower level credit cards. Now don't just apply. Go through the pre-approvals. Now, one thing, please, please, please do not let Credit Karma tell you what card you should apply for, right? Credit Karma is going to say, hey, listen, you have a great chance of getting this card. You have a great chance of getting this card. Last year, Credit Karma got sued because 30% of people who thought they were going to get approved got denied, right? So that's just something to keep in mind, right? So go through
Yep.
American Express pre-approval, right? So question, you can go on their website or just Google American Express pre-approval, hit the link, fill out your information, and see what offers they give you. Right? It's not going to be a hard check on your credit report, and if you see you do get some offers, okay, then follow through with the information, and you'll be good to go. Right? So that's how you leverage your credit, and then start building those credit lines, and then start putting your bills on your credit card.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Start getting paid to pay your bills. At a minimum, start getting paid to pay your bills, right? I mean, we grown now. We got car notes. Some of us pay rent. Some of us phone bills. Some of us pay for our parents' bills too, right? So put them on a credit card and then just use the money in the bank account to pay off the
Yeah, we
credit
got
card.
some great questions in the chat. Keep dropping them.
You gotta get an increase.
Amex.
Oh, okay, my bad. So that you do it so for the increase, you go do it on the website. So a lot of people don't know that Amex has it's a 92 and then a 181-day rule. So after 92 days of being approved, you can up to 3x the limit on your American Express card, right? So that's how I was able to take my $10,000 card and bring it up to a $30,000 card, right? Because you can up to 3x the limit, right? So just think about this. Even if you get approved for a $2,000 card in in 90 days, you could turn that 2 to 6, and then in 180 days, turn that 6 to 18. Now you got a high limit credit card on that side. You get what I'm saying? Oh my God, Chris. Yo, Chris, you gotta call me.
So
That's
saying
the goat right there.
180 days from
That's
when
the
you
goat.
got approved, or 180 days from when you got the limit increase?
From when you got approved, right? So first, right, just run it back real quick so I'm not confusing anybody, right? So say you get approved March 1st, right? 90 days after that, what is that? June 1st? Ask for 3x, up to 3x the limit. So if you have 2,000, now you can ask for 6, right? So they approve you for 6. Then 91 days after that day, you can ask for 18. You know what I'm saying? So now you have a high limit credit card, and say you get 2 American Express cards at once. Now you have $36,000 just from American Express. Then you hit Navy, with a $20K credit card. Now you have damn near $50,000 just 3 credit cards, right? So then when you go to the business side, now
really
you can get busy.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Uh,
Danny said, I'm going to run a play with 5 cards, 1 inquiry, but I think they're charge cards. What are charge cards? So from my understanding, charge cards, they fluctuate your credit limit by how much you're spending on them. Cam might know more about it, but that's about all I know about charge cards.
No, that's fact. So the charge cards, I believe there's 5 of them. Well, the main ones, you have the gold, you have the platinum, you have the green one. Nobody really talks about the green. You have the plum. Now the plum, I like the plum because it gives you about 60 days to pay it off, right? So you got the plum card. I think that's the last one, right? And then obviously for the gold, you have the personal and business. And then on the platinum side, you have the personal and business as well, right? So you can get, so they have the 2 and 90 rule. So you can't get more than 2 revolving credit cards in 90 days. So what some people do is they get, 1 personal card, say the Blue Cash every day, and then go get, like 4 charge cards, right? So that's how you can kind of get 5 cards in 1 inquiry, right? And then, for Amex, as long as you get approved for a personal credit card first, any other credit card that you apply for and get approved for, it's only a soft pull, right? So I was able to get 6 with the 1 inquiry because I got approved for the personal one, right? The Blue Cash Preferred, which is my favorite card, right? A Blue Cash Preferred is like $95 annual fee, but you get like 6% on groceries, 3% on gas. It's a super dope card.
And you said that's the Amex Blue Cash?
Yeah,
Word.
Blue Cash Preferred. Mm-hmm. Yeah, somewhere here.
Word. That's bad game.
But yeah, bro.
So let me ask you this thing. You might know. So here's a little backstory on how I even got into the credit space. I got approved for a Amex Gold card. It was $3K limit, and then whenever I moved out to Cali, stuff didn't go as planned. I maxed it out. It went to collections, and that's how I found out about credit repair. One of my mentors told me, "Hey, you need to he didn't tell me to he didn't tell me about the collections thing, but he said just pay off the collections and then get your credit repaired. um so I paid off the collections. Like, standing is good with Amex. So since I've approved for that card in the past, do you know if they would do another hard inquiry if I applied again? Yeah.
That's a great question. That's actually a question. To be honest, what I would do is I would call them, right? I would call and kind of break the ice. I'm like, hey, listen, in the past I was kind of irresponsible, right? But I'm grown now. I'm doing things in my credit. I actually help people take care of their credit themselves. Would you happen to know if I'd be able to, one, get approved for another Amex, and then if I do, I did have an Amex in the past, or would it be a soft pull or hard pull, right? So it just
Yeah,
simply
and
getting
then
somebody on the phone.
as far as Amex, they don't have like in-person locate. Like, you can't just go in and like build a relationship that way. So you just call them. Or,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yes. It's actually funny because I was on the phone with my guy Sebas. I don't know if he's still on here. We were talking about it yesterday because we were trying to find like some type of relationship manager with Amex or something like that. It's super hard to find, right? So I'm definitely going to keep looking to figure out. It's actually funny when I was in a recession proof. I mean, I'm still in recession proof. For those of you who don't know, a recession proof is a mentorship from him 500, right? He was one of my first mentors. Who I learned from. I paid 5,000 using my Amex to join his mentorship, and that's when I really ran it up with the credit. But yeah, I totally forgot I was going to. Oh yeah, so he actually had a guy within our mentorship. Like, he was an Amex plug, so we would send him an email. Hey, listen, we want to apply for these 3 cards. Oh yeah, my guy Will's in RPX too, and we would be able to send him an email, and he would help us get approved for like multiple cards. So I was able to get 3 cards. If you actually look in the highlights of my story, like, you'll see me apply for those American Express cards like back to back. And he's the one that sent me the application, right? But we had less than like 1,000 people in there. Recession proof RPX. Oh shit, she's in RPX too. What's up, Shayla? We gotta tap in to connect. Shoot me a DM, let's connect. And now there's like 7,000, and then he just merged with EOIL, right? So there's a lot of people, and a lot of people kind of burned that relationship because they kept sending their clients, right, who weren't even qualified to get Amex cards, right? So that kind of fell through. So I'm trying to look for, somebody else to kind of help my clients out.
Steph. And yeah, that's a huge leverage that we have. I didn't even think about that. Like, we also have the referral power, and whenever we build in relationships here. So yeah, that's fire.
For sure. Yo, guys, let me know if you have any other questions. We got some RPAs getting in the chat. Damn, I'm hyped. That's what's up. Yo, Shayla, when you joined RPX? When you joined RPX? I joined November 2020. So I've been in this shit for a minute. If you got any other questions, I got a few more minutes. Damn, I love doing joint lives, right? Just to kind of, tap into other people's networks, kind of go back and forth with game and stuff like that. I definitely want to start going live
definitely, bro. Anytime, let me know, because I just went live for my first time like a week ago, and I'm trying to tap into that as well. I'm way less nervous this time.
Bro, let me tell you, I get anxiety. I get so much anxiety before I go live. Like, I mean, still to this day, I get anxiety going live, bro. I've been going live, so I actually started going live a lot. What was it? 2021, I think, in the fall, or maybe 2022, whenever it was. And bro, I was nervous on live. I was sweating on live. I was nervous, right? But as you get your reps in, you kind of get desensitized. You kind of learn how to flow, learn how to answer questions, right? Start waving at people.
I just see my
stuff like that, right?
Chat.
So
if you got any questions, let us know, brother.
What up, Josh? What's up? So what you got going on right now? So, like, are you in the process of trying to get funding? Are you trying to get funding? Like, what is that looking for you
right now? I'm in the building relationships side of it, and focusing on how I want to get funding, and just working on that. Like, I just signed up for a bunch of credit growth accounts, because like I said, I just repaired my credit. That was like late last year when I started repairing my credit. So I'm really like new to building my credit, and I've been working a lot. My credit scores jumped hundreds of points, so we up there. building relationships and helping get higher limits on the personal side so I can go get the bag on the business side, just like you was talking.
Yes. I see we had another question. I think I missed it. Let me see. Yarbo Miller. Hope I didn't mess up your name. Is it good to focus on paying down debt first and then move towards maximizing credit? Yeah. Now, what do you mean by that? Because I want to make sure that I answer your question right. Like, what do you mean by maximizing credit?
Yes.
What do you mean by
Logan,
credit?
hear what
I
up,
want to
Logan?
make sure I answer your I'm gonna make sure I answer your question. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, you definitely want to pay down debt because before you start to apply for credit cards, the main thing is keeping your utilization low, right? So just kind of understanding statement date and due date, and that's like the bare minimum of credit, right? Because a lot of people are like, listen, I pay my card down. I pay my card every month on time, but my score's not going up. Yeah, because you don't understand that you still have a high balance on the statement date. And the statement date is the date that reports the balance on your credit cards, right? So usually your statement date is going to come about 5 to 10 days after your minimum due date, right? So for instance, say your due date is the 5th, right? And your statement date could be the 10th. So on the 5th, if you have $1,000 credit card and you have a $500 balance, right? That's 50% utilization, right? 500 out of 1,000, that's 50%. Say you pay the whole thing down on the 5th. You think you're good. Say, I don't know, you pay your car note on the 7th on your credit card, right? Now you still have that $500 balance. When the statement day hits, it's going to report that you have 50% utilization. And some people are like, yo, how? I just paid my card down. No, you have to make sure that it's low on the statement date. Then you can go run it up again and then just repeat that same process, right? Just make sure on the 10th or whenever your statement date is, just make sure that your balance is at least at a minimum 30%. And then when you go for funding, you want it below 10%, right? And a simple way to find your statement date, you could simply just call the number on the back of your card, right? Ask them, hey, listen, what's my minimum due date? What's my statement date? Write it down for all your cards. I got 16 cards, so I have a spreadsheet. I have a whole spreadsheet of my due dates, limits, balances, stuff like that. But, for some people who have 2-3 cards, just make sure that you understand your statement date, and then obviously you just paying your bills on time.
And for some banks and some lenders, you're able to move it. You can request to move the minimum date or the statement date. So that's another. If you're able to move it one time for each bank, well then you could just set them all up for the same day, and then it's way easier to keep track of. But I love the spreadsheet for sure.
Exactly. And, like for somebody like me, so I had 16 cards, right? So I had that 16 different dates. So what I did, I split them in half. I have 8 due on the 14th, 8 due on the 20, I think 5th or something like that, right? So I'm not like, oh shit, I got to pay it on the 4th. I got to pay this on the 7th. I got to pay this on the 12th, this on the 20th. Nah, I know that this list of cards is on the 14th. So just make sure that my thing is set to automatic payments. And then for the 25th or the 28th, whenever it is, right, 2 weeks later, I just make sure that my balance, that my automatic payments are set for those, right? So essentially, I only have 2 days that I'm paying down my credit card. You feel me? So I got time for one more question. Anybody got one more question before I jump out of here? I know Ryan got a call too.
Yes.
We busy, man. We CEOs. CEO, 24/7 around the clock. Around the clock. Listen, let me know if you have any questions. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually doing a masterclass, a free masterclass, April 2nd. I know Ryan's tapped into that. How to get 50 to 150K in less than 100 days. So you're more than welcome to join that. Just DM me masterclass. I'll send you the link. Let me get busy. He said, I hesitated in cutting up that major credit card, and it came in handy that I'm assuming you meant it came in handy that I didn't because I had to use it, but now behind the curve and building back up credit. So it really depends. It's kind of hard to really speak on your situation if I can't see the full picture. And that's what I try to, tell a lot of people. Like, it's very hard. Like, you could tell me I got 2 collections, but you know how many times somebody told me, hey, listen, I got 2 collections. I checked the report. They got 5 charge-offs. They got a bankruptcy. They got a repo, right? So I need to see your credit report, and then we can kind of create a plan, moving forward. Whether you do it yourself, whether you hire, one of your friends, whether you hire me, I don't care what you do, just fix your credit. I don't care
Facts.
who you go to, just fix your credit. Y'all,
No, that's huge.
my
Like
guy Will.
we can give
Oh,
credit advice and we can talk about things and like how credit works, but everybody's score is different. And just because someone pays off their card and their score goes up by 20 points, you may pay it off and it may only go up 5 points. Like everybody's score is different, so it's really hard to, give advice if we don't see the full picture. So, I know both of us, we do free credit consultations. It costs $1 to see your full credit report. And, if you can't pay $1 to see your full credit report, then you're not serious about fixing your credit. We got to look at the facts and then see what we can go to. We're not here to, tell people in some pipe dream and whatever. Like we need to look at the facts and see what we need to do and what the first steps are. But I think a big thing is just realizing starting from where your goals are and then working backwards from that to where you're at now to see where, what the next steps are. But yeah, that's huge. Like you said, you can fix your credit yourself. You can do all the stuff yourself, or you can hire someone to do it. Like me personally, I'm not changing my own oil in my car. I'm never going to do it. I'm always going to pay somebody to do that 10 times.
I pay for convenience. I pay for convenience. I pay for peace of mind. Yo, Troy, what's going on, bro? Yeah, Troy, shoot me a DM. And then Yarbo Miller. I don't know who you follow. Whoever you follow, just shoot them a DM, right? So if you follow Ryan, right, shoot Ryan a DM, right? You can get situated with him. If you follow me, right, shoot me a DM. Whether you go to me or Ryan,
So
you can get taken care of.
everybody, make
Sure.
sure you check out Cam's Instagram. Sign up for the masterclass. It's free, literally free game on how to get 150K business funding. I'm so excited. I got it blocked off in my calendar. I'm not doing shit the whole day. I'm ready for that.
Let's go. Yo, listen, I appreciate anybody who jumped on. Appreciate anybody who's watching the replay. Listen, if you're watching the replay, definitely show my guy Ryan some love. Before I jump off, if you're following me and not following Ryan, go hit that drop down. Make sure you follow my guy Ryan. He's posting a lot of dope content, right? He's definitely going to be huge in the credit space, right, for years to come, right? Young boy, he's doing it. So Ryan, a lot of respect for you, bro. I appreciate you bringing me up on your platform, bro.
Appreciate you, and likewise, for sure. If you in the recording made it all the way to the end, salute to you. Definitely DM us and say what's up. Peace.
Let's do it. All right, I'll see you, bro.